Okay, so you guys know how this works, right? You send us the articles and we do a deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
And man, you sent a lot about Flamengo this week. It seems like things are really heating up over there.
They really are.
We got the Brasileirão title race still on.
Yeah.
This huge Copa do Brazil final coming up.
Absolutely.
And you got to love a little bit of drama behind the scenes too, right?
Oh, yeah. Got to have that.
We've got articles from all over, sports news sites, analyses, some fan blogs. It seems like everyone has an opinion about what's going on. But what's fascinating to me is how closely everything seems connected right now for Flamengo.
Right.
This Brasileirão pressure they're under.
Absolutely.
The weight of expectation for the Copa Brazil final.
Yep.
And then these hints of tension within the team.
That's right.
It makes for a pretty captivating story, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I'd agree with you there.
So where should we start? Well, how about with that 4-2 win against Juventude?
Good place to start.
I mean, Kirsten was unbelievable that game.
He was on fire.
A goal and an assist.
He really seems to have stepped into that leadership role, hasn't he?
It seems like it, right? And we got to mention Arrascaeta again.
Oh, of course.
He's been so consistent all season, delivering these top-notch performances week in and week out.
Totally agree. Just a rock in that midfield.
For sure. But that said, they have this absolutely massive match coming up against International.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a nail-biter.
Oh, absolutely. Huge implications for the title race.
And as if they needed any more pressure on them.
Right.
They're going to be without Bruno Henrique and Cruz.
Yeah.
Both out with injuries.
Oh, man. That's rough. I mean, those are two players that are absolutely crucial to their attacking strategy.
Exactly.
This is going to be a challenge for Coach Filipe Luís. He's going to have to think outside the box here.
He's shown he can adapt before.
He has, but this is a real test for sure.
It's going to be interesting to see how he adjusts tactically.
For sure. And, on top of that, you've got Gabigol going through a bit of a rough patch right now.
Yeah, 6 games without a goal.
Yeah.
You don't see that very often from a player like him.
It really makes you wonder what's going on, Wraith. I mean, on the one hand, he's been incredibly reliable from the penalty spot.
Yeah, he's kept up that incredible record he's built since 2019.
That's right.
But this goal drought, is this just a dip in form? Or is there something more going on? Something tactical, maybe? Even psychological? Who knows?
It's hard to say, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Well, let's move on to the Copa do Brazil. The final's just around the corner.
It is, and it's a tough one.
Atlético-MG.
Never easy.
And, we just mentioned Bruno Henrique and Cruz are out.
Right. And that's not all.
What else?
Erick Pulgar. He's sidelined, too, for the first leg, at least.
So 3 key starters down.
That's right. 3. How are they going to cope?
It really does highlight the importance of squad depth, doesn't it? Especially in these high-stakes competitions.
For sure. This is a test for Filipe Luís, but it's also a test for the team's overall resilience. Can other players step up? Can they fill those gaps?
Yeah, it's definitely a critical moment for them.
It is.
And speaking of moments, I read about this team lunch they all had. Players, coaches, even club directors all there together.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Seems a bit unusual, don't you think?
Definitely sparked a lot of speculation.
Right. Some people saw it as a celebratory thing.
Yeah, kind of like a bonding experience.
Others were thinking maybe it was more of a crisis meeting, trying to figure things out.
Right, like an intervention.
Exactly. Marcos Brez, the vice president,
Yeah.
I think he came out and denied any problems.
Yeah. Emphasized the team's unity. Said everything was fine.
Right. But you can't help but wonder what was really discussed behind closed doors.
Oh, of course. There's always more to the story than meets the eye.
It just adds another layer of intrigue to the whole situation, right?
Right. And I think it reminds us that even in a sport as intensely focused on what happens on the field as football, there's always that human element at play.
There is.
Team dynamics, individual personalities, and just the pressures of these high-stakes competitions.
Yeah, it's not just about who scores the most goals, right?
Nope. It's a whole complex interplay of factors.
So true. Okay, before we get too bogged down in the drama here, let's end on a positive note.
Okay, I like it.
You ready for this? The Flamengo U15 team absolutely demolished Botafogo
No kidding.
in the Carioca Championship.
How bad.
7-1 aggregate score. 7-1.
Wow, they destroyed them.
That's not just a win, that's a statement.
It really is. Speaks to the strength of their youth development program.
Exactly.
And it gives us a glimpse into a very promising future for the club.
Maybe they can lend the senior team a few players for the Copa do Brazil final, right?
Wouldn't that be something?
So it's clear Flamengo's on a bit of a roller coaster ride right now.
Definitely are.
Triumphs, setbacks, internal rumblings. It's all part of the game, though, isn't it?
Part of the beauty of it.
That it is. But what do you think is the biggest factor that will determine their success in these coming weeks?
That's a good question, I think.
Is it the outcome of the Brasileirão race? How they navigate those key absences in the Copa do Brasil final? Or maybe it's something less obvious. Like, can they maintain their unity and focus with all this pressure?
You know what? I think it might be that last one. The mental game is going to be huge for them.
Yeah, that makes sense. So much is going on. It really is going to be fascinating to see what happens.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
Well, that's it for us this week. But what about you? What do you think is the key for Flamengo? Head over to our website and tell us what you think. We'll be back next week with another deep dive, and who knows what we'll be talking about then. Thanks for listening.